What up, YouTube? For today's video, I would like to talk about slabs. So obviously what you see in front of you is an NGC slab. However, this is an older NGC slab. So this is a vintage slab from the late 1980s. So these older NGC slabs are nicknamed fatty slabs. And the older NGC slabs are called fatties because they are very thick. So you can see that how thick this holder is. Hence why it's nicknamed a fatty. And this NGC slab would have been used starting in 1989. This is a Generation 4 NGC slab. So these were issued in 1989. So yeah. So it's called a fatty slab because these are very thick. These are very fat slabs. Hence the nickname fatty slab. So here's to illustrate how thick and fat the fatty slabs are. So to the left of me, you see a regular and modern NGC slab. And to the right, you see a vintage fatty slab. So I'm going to stack the slabs on top of each other. So you can see that the fatty slab is much thicker than the modern NGC slab. So yeah, it's a very, very thick holder. An interesting thing to note about the fatty slab is that it does have a serial number, but it doesn't have a barcode, which makes sense because, as I said earlier, this fatty slab was issued in 1989, so technology was a lot more primitive back then. Obviously, NGC doesn't have a website back in the day, so of course there's no need for a barcode. And it does have a hologram. However, as you can see, this hologram is kind of worn off. From what I've read, on the older fatty slabs like this, the holograms are a lot get worn off very easily. Like a lot of dealers would, put their price tags on the barcode, and when you peel the sticker off, it kind of peels some of the hologram off. So yeah, you can tell that this is a pretty primitive slab. So here's another comparison of a fatty slab versus a modern NGC slab. So on the modern NGC slab, you see, you see the serial number and the barcode. And obviously the label, there's some artwork on the label. While on the fatty slab, there is a serial number but no barcode, and the label is a lot more plain looking. And when you turn to the back of the slabs, so obviously, you can tell that the holograms on the modern NGC slab is a lot more intricate than the vintage fatty slab. So there are a lot of little security features on the holograms of the newer NGC slabs. And as you can tell, you can tell that on the newer NGC slabs, the hologram is a lot more durable than on the older fatty slab. A lot of dealers and collectors would actually crack coins out of a fatty slab. So they would get a hammer and they would just smash the fatty slab open to take the coin out. And you wonder why they do this. Well, keep in mind, the fatty slab was used during the 1980s. So NGC was founded in 1987. So during the 1980s and 1990s, NGC's grading standards were a lot stricter than they are today. So a lot of coins in these fatty slabs would actually grade higher today. So as you can see, NGC graded this Walking Liberty half dollar as an MS63. So if I crack this coin out of this slab, there is a possibility that it could actually get a higher grade, because today's grading standards are a lot more liberal than the grading standards back then, because during the 1980s, the grading standards were a lot stricter. Of course, it's not really worth the money to crack out this coin, because a 1944 Walking Liberty half dollar, those are very common coins. So I don't think it's worth the cost of cracking this coin out and regrading it. So even if this coin does get a higher grade, I don't think it's really worth the cost to regrade it. But yeah, so there is a possibility that this coin will grade higher, just because today's grading standards are a lot looser than they were back then. There are many people that like to collect coins that are housed in older slabs. That's because some of these older slabs can be quite rare. In some cases, the slab is worth more money than the coin itself. And an example of that is the NGC Black Slab. The NGC Black Slab is also known as a Generation 1 slab. That's because the Black Slab was the first type of holder that NGC used when the company was first founded in 1987. So when NGC started business in 1987, this Black Slab was the first type of holder that they were using. And they only used this holder for a few months. So consequently, this holder is quite rare. So this is a very rare slab. So as you can see, there is a 1946 Denver Walking Liberty half dollar that is housed in the black holder. This is a $50 coin. However, as you can see right here, the slab and the coin sold for $3,740 in an internet auction. And that's because of how rare the slab is. The coin itself is only worth $50, but the slab, the black slab, is worth thousands of dollars. So somebody paid almost $4,000 just for the black slab. So that shows you that there are a lot of people that actually collect NGC slabs. So there are a lot of people that like to collect older slabs. So yeah. So I'll post a link to this article in the description.